Commissioner Hahn, thank you for your time. During 2013, you've visited a lot Greece. You've been to many regions. You've probably been to more regions than Greek politicians have. And you've always said that your contact was very good with local authorities. I would like, though, if you can underline some flows that you saw during your last visits.
Some flows?
Some flows from local authorities, things that still need for local authorities to work on.
Yeah, I have seen different things because I always try to have a certain topic during my visits. And at the beginning of the year, for instance, I was at Peloponnese, studying the situation of illegal landfills, because this we have really to resolve in a sustainable manner. We have discussed, I think, years and years, but now I think we are on a good path. And it's not only about closing illegal landfills, we have to provide something instead of it, yes, which complies with our environmental acquis. But I have also been at universities and in companies, in distribution centers for fruits. So I try to get a flavor, yes, what's going on and how the situation is, and to talk as much as possible with people. I know that, of course, a commissioner receives some filtered information, but on the other hand, I'm old enough and have seen enough that I can grasp a little bit the situation. And I would say, in general, it becomes better. But
where would you put, I mean, Greece, I think everyone recognizes that is a very centralized country. Everything happens in Athens. Where would you put your finger, the main problem that we have a lot of development in Athens and almost no development in the rest of the Greek regions? What would you like to fight for the next programming period, for example?
Yeah, this is why we do two things. One is really tailor-made for Greece, because compared to other countries, we will have for each region its own operational program, so they can really work on their development. And as the promotion of the economy is our main focus, we will ask each region to come forward with what we call smart specialization strategy.
Okay.
That sounds technically, but it means that each region should be aware, should analyze what are its potential, its assets in terms of economic development. Where should be the focus? Be it agri-food processing, be it renewable energy, is it tourism, is it something else in a technical area whatsoever. But I have now evidence after nearly 4 years being Commissioner of Regional Policy, having visited many regions in Europe, also very remote ones. There is always a so-called USB which can be used.
Okay.
And in particular, the most remotest areas have been able to turn their disadvantage in an advantage. And I think this should be our vision for Greece.
67.5% the absorption rate for Greece, a record high, above EU average. Is this? Would you say this is a personal success?
You see me quite happy, but I mean, absorption is the one thing. The other thing is that the money really arrives at the final beneficiaries. Here we have clearly to see and to accept that in particular when it comes to loans, guarantees and similar financial products for SMEs, we have set up funds. There is money, but it has not yet arrived to SMEs, and we have to analyze what are the reasons. But in general, yeah, I'm rather satisfied with the development concerning absorption rate. And the next step is that we hopefully see very soon the concrete impact and the benefit for the people, because this is the most important thing.
For 2014-2020, you're shifting to SMEs, innovation and more viable employment. Although in Greece there's a lot of lack of administrative, the relation between businesses, new businesses, and the state is still very complicated. How do you tend to fight this in order for European funds to keep flowing in Greece?
Yeah, I mean the improvement of the administrative capacities is still one of the most urgent necessities and objectives, no doubt about it. But it's also, I mean, we will, for instance, introduce not only in Greece, everywhere, what we call e-templates for applications, so to make the process more coherent, more transparent, traceable, and I think this is another important step towards better attractiveness and trust building for external people, but also for internal people, because someone should and could rely on the state authorities.
You've mentioned in one of your last visits when you also met Prime Minister Samaras and Mr. Hatzidakis, you mentioned the problem of still lack of liquidity from banks. And I will also add that one of your conditionalities, one of the specific conditionalities, is to create a simplified business environment. So could we be possibly faced after 2014 of not receiving European funds for SMEs, which is, as you recognized, very important for growth and employment? Could we be faced to that, stop EU funding after with the next programming period?
Our aim is always to create an environment, a setup where we can spend the money. That's why our understanding is to help to assist member states, administrations to improve their capacities. It's not my understanding, and it's by far not my goal to say by the end of the year I have saved that and that amount of money. My objective is that at the end of the year I can raise a glass of champagne and say we have spent all around Europe the money, but in an intelligent, smart, sustainable manner, in order to help people and to make them more satisfied and to give them a personal and economic perspective.
Two more points regarding youth unemployment. There is a fund of 6 billion for Greece until 2020 to fight unemployment for people under 25. Is there going to be a follow-up? Because there's a big amount of money there involved by the Commission.
This 6 billion is for Europe and for those countries which face an unemployment rate of youth unemployment rate of at least 25%, and it should be used within the first 3 years. So there's a kind of front loading, but it's here also about qualification. And I have to say and to recall, in a medium and long-term perspective, we will be only successfully if we manage to create new jobs in companies, to set up new companies, because if we only train people without any perspective to get a job, this is not what we should do.
You've said 28 million SMEs in Europe for 24 SMEs for 28 unemployed million unemployed European citizens.
I always add that it's of course a very naive calculation, but on the other hand,
it gives us an idea how we can fight unemployment.
Exactly. We have 23 million SMEs around Europe, and we have just now 26, 27 million unemployed people. So
it can.
So my idea is, or the picture I would like to convey is, if every SME would employ one unemployed person, the problem of unemployment would really need solved. If we leave it to the 500 biggest company, each of them would have to employ another 50,000, which is nearly theoretically impossible.
One last remark, if I can. 500 million euros for illegal immigration for Greece with the next programming period, if I'm not mistaken. It's more than what we received in the last programming periods. But do you think this is the solution in light of the drama that went on in Lampedusa? Shouldn't we call more for European solidarity and maybe less funds to solve this problem of illegal immigration?
I mean, to address this problem, there are many areas. First, I think it would be important, and this is part of our external policy, to help that in the states where this wave, these refugees are coming from, we should improve the political and economic situation, that people are not forced to leave. First thing, rather complicated, but I think in an overall concept we should have it in mind. Secondly, if refugees arrive, it's indeed necessary to have a European solidarity to deal with them. And then there are two opportunities for refugees, either to have an opportunity and an interest to go back as soon as possible, or some of them would like to integrate into the European society. And I think for both we have the human and moral obligation to help and to assist them, and also the European countries being immediately affected. And for that reason we have some funds, but I have to say structural funds are not dedicated to deal with that problem.
The only solution.
Structural funds can be used to a certain extent if it's about integration of refugees into the society, but not if it comes to temporary measures dealing with the housing or temporary housing of refugees.
Okay. Commissioner Hahn, thank you very much.
Thank you.